Baba Uhuru, Kenya bado inakuhitaji. Baba wa taifa, jina lako tunaliinua.
We need to continue to pray for the president, the former president. We need to continue to pray for the former president of this country. I had a devastating vision.
Songs, prophecies, and whispered hospital corridors. In just a few days, Kenyans have found themselves caught between faith and fear, between music and mystery. From Kampala to Nairobi, musicians are singing prayers instead of praise. Eddie Kenzo, his voice trembling with emotion, calls the nation to pray for Baba Uhuru. And back home, Guardian Angel releases his own tribute, pleading that Kenya must stand together for a man who once held the nation's highest seat of power.
Baba Uhuru, tunakuombea.
But behind the rhythm and the melody lies a heavier truth. Uhuru Kenyatta himself recently hinted at battling an unnamed illness. His voice subdued, his words soaked in a reflection. The internet now whispers one word over and over: the deadly cancer.
Don't know whether I should say this, but these are realities of life. In the last year, in a good part of this year, whenever we met, he was very encouraging about some of the challenges that we were going through. And since he had more experience than some of us, he was very encouraging in guiding and telling you how to look at this and how to handle some of these challenges in life, health and otherwise.
And just when the air seemed heavy enough, a new prophecy broke the silence. A preacher declaring that after Raila, Uhuru might be the next. Is it just a poetic coincidence or a warning written in the unseen? Today, the red mic strip away the noise, search the evidence, and dive into the question that has shaken Kenya's political soul. Is Uhuru Kenyatta really battling a chronic illness? And what does it mean for the future of this nation still mourning Raila Odinga? This is the red mic.
When I looked at him, his body had changed completely. He was not the president we know. He had reduced in size, and what I saw in the realm of the spirit is that he looked as if his spirit has already left him. But I followed him in the vision, and I was talking to him, and the conversation we had with him is that he needs to break the altars of the family before he exits this planet. Hallelujah.
Morning breaks over Nairobi, but the silence of the night still hangs heavy. In the corridors of power, a name once spoken with certainty now drifts in uncertainty: Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta. He who once led a nation through storms now walks through a quiet battle, one fought not in politics, but in flesh and spirit. Few have seen him lately, and fewer still understand the pain behind his measured smile. Yet, as songs and prophecies collide, the nation begins to ask, what truly lies behind the veil? And how did whispers of illness become the voice of a people seeking meaning? Let us begin with what we know. Across the borders from Kampala to Nairobi, voices are calling Kenyans to pray. Eddie Kenzo, with his voice trembling between melody and plea, he sings not of joy but of hope. Guardian Angel releases a hymn that pieces the silence, reminding the nation that a former leader's struggle is a collective concern. And then, in the hushed interviews and fleeting public appearances, Uhuru Kenyatta himself has acknowledged quietly, deliberately, that he faces challenges of his own health. The words are soft, measured, almost ceremonial in their restraint. But the message is very clear. The man who once carried the weight of an entire nation now carries a private burden.
Mungu tunakuomba maisha marefu kwa baba wa taifa.
Across social media, prophets speak with urgency. Some literally, some symbolic, suggesting that after Raila's death, the nation's focus may turn once again to Uhuru Kenyatta. The post-flood feeds, the music echoes, the hashtags multiply. And in the background, Kenya watches, waits, and it wonders what is really happening behind the closed doors of power. What illness lurks in the shadows of a former president, and what will happen, and what will it mean for the political future of this nation, Kenya? Reputable Kenyan news outlets have reported what the nation now whispers, that Uhuru Kenyatta has been battling a serious illness, widely interpreted as the deadly cancer. But here lies the paradox of power. The man who once spoke with authority over the fate of millions now speaks in careful, measured hints about his own vulnerability. No formal medical bulletin has been released. No doctor has publicly confirmed the diagnosis, yet the signals are unmistakable. It began in subtle remarks during moments of mourning when Uhuru attended the funeral of a close friend, Frank Ireri, who died of cancer. In interviews, he spoke of resilience, of faith, and of hope for those facing similar battles. To many, these words were more than encouragement. They were a quiet acknowledgement of his own struggle.
Mine is to say I've lost a friend, I've lost a colleague, and especially for me don't know whether I should say this, but these are realities of life. In the last year, and a good part of this year, whenever we met, he was very encouraging about some of the challenges that we were going through. And since he had more experience than some of us, he was very encouraging in guiding and telling you how to look at this and how to handle some of these challenges in life, health and otherwise. And I'll miss that counsel, and I'll appreciate everything he guided some of us towards, and how he really held our hand and told us, don't worry, things will come to pass, it will go.
Meanwhile, musicians amplified the whispers. Eddie Kenzo's tribute is not just music. It is a call to collective conscience, urging Kenyans to pray for Uhuru Kenyatta. Guardian Angel's melodies are layered with urgency, weaving faith and concern into every note. Across social media, prophetic voices rise. Some hint at mortality, some speak of destiny, and some declare that the nation's attention will turn to Uhuru in the wake of Raila Odinga's passing. But let us separate signal from noise. What we can verify, Uhuru Kenyatta has publicly acknowledged the health challenges. But what we cannot vilify or verify, the precise diagnosis, treatment, plan, or prognosis. And yet, even in the absence of concrete information, the nation watches, interprets, and fears, because the health of a former president is never private, never silent, and never without consequences. And so where does this leave Kenya? A nation still mourning Raila Odinga, a former president quietly battling illness, and a political landscape reshaping itself in real time. We have heard the songs, we have seen the prophecies, we have witnessed the warnings, the calls for respect, discipline, and unity within Jubilee Party. And through it all, one truth remains: power does not vanish with the silence, and influence does not fade with whispers. Uhuru Kenyatta, whether in struggle or in strength, he continues to shape the course of this country, not always in the open, not always in headlines, but in the corridors, in the alliances, and in the lessons he leaves behind. For Kenyans, the task is clear. Watch closely, think critically, and pray, not just for leaders, but for the nation itself. Because in times of uncertainty, understanding is the only light that can guide us through the shadows. This is the red mic. This is the red mic where silence speaks, power whispers, and history waits to be understood.
Frank is lying here is because it is his time. Those of us who have those challenges will continue fighting with them, but equally, when it is God's time, we shall join him and be thankful for the life that we lived and the times that we shared together. Mine is to say to you, Angie, you are still our in-law. We will be with you. We will continue to share with you, and we look forward